Oh yeah. Alright, let's get started. So, a couple of announcements. For one, I messed up. Hey, we hit 40 vigor. Let's go. I skipped something. Someone pointed out in the comments back in the Limgrave section. So, let's go to Death Touched Catacombs. In my notes, I figured out what I did when I was checking them. There's something over here called the Lance Talisman that when you leave Death Touch Catacombs is over to the left, and the Lance weapon is over here to the right. So I saw the word Lance, so I think I just skipped the line when I was reading this part of my notes, but over here in this general direction there's gonna be a sleeping golem over here to the left. See in that field, so you can totally avoid him if you want, but just be aware that he's here. Grab the Lance Talisman. This is gonna help with fighting on horseback, which I guess just for fun we could actually use today. But with that, let's go to Mausoleum Compound, which is in this general area. That one. And then the other announcement I wanted to make, which isn't really an announcement because usually people care about announcements, but I think I'm going to start making these videos, at least the next few, a little bit longer, because I had a bit of an epiphany, which is that I really at most have time to make like one video a day anyway. So if that video takes like 1 hour to render or like 6 hours to render, I'm still ultimately making the same amount of video that day, so it might just make sense to make these a bit longer. Because usually my hesitation with going over like an hour is that it takes ages to render, but just like let it go overnight or something, honestly. And also that's the quality of the video will not go down for me doing that. I don't want to make it sound like I'm sacrificing something for making them longer. If the video's bad, just know it was always going to be bad. It was just going to be like 2 or 3 shorter bad videos instead of one really long bad video. But actually, now that I say that, I'm thinking ahead. These next few videos might just be completely normal videos. Because we got this one, which I don't know how long this is going to take. I have a lot planned. We'll see how long it takes me to actually do it, though. I feel like I'm kind of in the zone right now, I'm not going to lie. So we might get through this quickly. But then the next video after this is going to be a legacy dungeon, which I'm pretty much always going to do those in one video anyway. I hate that they're so close to dying after those few hits. I have like 1 HP. Lure these guys away from the tree because there's a Erd Tree avatar or whatever they're called up there. We've got plenty of room. Oh no, put the bow away. Remember when I said I was in the zone? I'm not. Alright. I will fully admit, when I play this game in my own time, I never fight these things. I guess right here I do, because there's a boss ahead, but this is probably one of the enemy types I run past on horseback the most in the entire game. So really, I'm as new to fighting them as you are. But yeah, and then after the Legacy Dungeon, which again, is just gonna be as long as it needs to be. They're large areas, but I don't want to break those up into multiple videos. Then we have 2, like, shorter areas. So, I don't know. Maybe there's just no reason to tell you that the next few videos will be long. So for summons here, if you've upgraded Latenna at all, the Albinaric woman, she, like I mentioned when we picked her up, has insane range. So you can just like drop her. How far back can I summon? Right here. You can drop her right here, and she will just do like constant little bits of damage to this enemy. But I'm gonna throw on fire grease. You can make some fire pots if you'd like, and go to town on this guy. Shouldn't have crafted one. You can of course summon anyone that you would like, that you feel like would help, but this is just one of those areas where it's like super wide open and you can summon, so it's a situation where that summon in particular really shined in my opinion. That was incredibly lucky. I was gonna lie and say calculated, but I did not mean to do that. And down he goes. And you should drop the Magic Shrouding Cracked Tier, Lightning Shrouding Cracked Tier, and Holy Shrouding Cracked Tier. All of those are going to boost attacks of whatever damage type is in the name, essentially. So those are nice. You can mix those with like the... Where are the cracked tiers at? Probably, yes. So like for the magic boosting one, this one will boost magic attacks directly, but you can also like mix that with the intelligence boosting tier, so you'll get plus 10 levels to your intelligence temporarily, which is already going to increase the effectiveness of your magic attacks. And then that'll take it a step further, so you can combo those like lightning, or rather holy and faith, so go crazy with that. And then we have another Erd tree over here, just because Liurnia is so large. So go to Converted Tower. If you look closely, you can see a giant tree on the horizon. I'm being followed. You poison me, I'm suing you. Alright. The other one didn't even get a chance to use that attack. And down goes the second one. Which, admittedly, we probably should have done first. I feel like this one's probably easier. I don't know if I really noticed much of a difference. It's definitely easier to get to. You get the Cerulean Crystal Tier and the Ruptured Crystal Tier. And I don't remember what one of those does off the top of my head. Restores half of total FP. Okay, so same as like the Crimson Crystal Tier, but for FP. And then what was the other one? Ruptured. This is like... You just turn yourself into a bomb, basically. So... That's fun, I guess. And then... We can go to Road's End Catacombs. I ran down here in one of the last episodes, I think, to grab Ash of War along the way. If you don't have the grace to teleport to that directly, you can go either to Revenger's Shack or back just down this path, wrap around this plateau, and just follow this path down. So I'm just going to teleport though. Another one around here to the right. Nice. Okay, so this catacomb has a ton of illusory walls in it. You can just pop Margot's shackle and dispel them all at once. It's a pretty small place, so that should definitely hit every single one in here. If you don't have that, just obviously watch where I'm walking, and if there's a wall on your game and not on mine, then interact with it in some way and the illusion will be dispelled. Put this lantern on. And then that is the boss down that way, I believe, so first we're just gonna run around and collect everything else. There's one behind me. Okay, I'll start. The Watchdog staff, that's what those horrific burial watchdog creatures are holding. And then actually got the imp to drop a head. There's a few different like imp variants. They have different heads. But they have a chance to drop it. Thought there was some on the side, but I guess I was wrong. There are definitely some in here, though. There you go. I'm guessing if you just ran ahead and opened the chest, that's what would activate these two to spring to life, but I don't know if I've ever tested that. Usually just notice them first. You get the Rite of Lucaria's soldier ashes from that, and then watch out for the pressure plate on the way back, and we can backtrack to that hallway I pointed out, take us to the boss. Okay, so fair warning, there's going to be a Crucible Knight in here. This is a Spirit Caller Snail. Pretty straightforward fight. It basically just summons things to fight on its behalf, in this case, a Crucible Knight. And it's just going to hide somewhere in the room. You're going to notice a little white glow on the ground, and you just want to attack that glow to reveal the snail. I don't know... I'm just going to take off my light source because I feel like that'll make the glow slightly more pronounced, but you'll see it either way. I prefer to not lock on during this fight because being locked on to the snail, being locked on to anything that puts the Crucible Knight behind me, I feel like it's just a bad idea. I like to be able to keep tabs on those fellas but, you know, just keep your eyes peeled for the white glow, and that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then you get the Glintstone Sorcerer Ashes, and we can return to entrance. And then we're going to warp to Revenger's Shack. It'll let you in on a little industry secret. In this case, the industry is me. Sometimes, when I have to scroll down in my notes to remember where we're going next, I say we're going to use the return to entrance button, even though we could always just warp straight out of there. A little insight into my incompetence. Alright, and then from here, we're going to run east. There's a path here. And it's a bunch of land octopus landmines out here, so just steer clear. And then we're gonna veer like slightly northeast. Quite a bit more actually. Over this left side of all these ruins to get the Temple Quarter Grace. And doesn't look like I'm being followed. Alright, and then if we sort of loop around here to the right, get down to the south side of this area. In this tower there's going to be a chest. Get the Ice Rind Hatchet, and then there's a circle of flowers in the middle, and there's a bunch of these Albinaric guys posted about, and then you can also see these little, like, what look like stones in the water right above my character's head, but those are actually more enemies that'll pop out once we step into that circle of flowers, so this is just one giant ambush, really. However, there's the body in the middle is just some flowers, and there's also some flowers on the other side of this body of water, so we're just gonna run through, grab the flowers, and then just planning our escape ahead of time. You could probably rest at this Temple Quarter Grace again, actually, on the way out to reset them, most likely, but we're just going to run straight over here to this Evergoal after this, so I'm just going to assume, unless you somehow take an insane amount of damage pulling off the maneuver that I just did, you can probably just run straight there without having to rest. Go inside, and this is an enemy we have seen before. All the Carrion Knights, like the giant trolls. Balls. I'll grow up someday. Watch out for the giant glint blade phalanx. Yeah, if I make this look hard, it's not. I'm really, like, sloppy when it comes to fighting these trolls because I know I can get a stagger pretty easily like that. And that just makes me too aggressive. I go for a bunch of attacks in a row, and they're giant, obviously, so they're not gonna really stagger until you get like the full knockdown like that, so I just get a little too overzealous sometimes, spamming attacks. This is a pretty clean attempt, though. I was self-aware going into it, so that helped. You get the Great Blade Phalanx Sorcery, the one he just used on us, and it should teleport us back outside. Alright, so for this next part, if I'm not mistaken, I need to double check our Stone Sword key. Stock. Yeah, we only have one. So we're just obviously clearing like open world locations right now. So obviously you can do this in whatever order you want. So I know for a fact we will have more stone sword keys by the end of this episode. So if you really don't want to waste any runes buying one like I'm about to do, then you could just watch the rest of the video, I guess, and come back and do this part later. So you have more stone sword keys. I'm just going to grab one because I don't want to skip ahead. I'll get lost. I'll skip lines in the notes and then I'll have to, 10 episodes from now come back and be embarrassed that I missed something. Alright, so warp to Crystallin Woods. Or if you had 2 stone sword keys for whatever reason still, or not still, but after you exited that boss fight, you could have just ran east across the lake, but I'm gonna run over here to this big stone cliff here. And here's the entrance. Marked by the ringing of the teardrop scarab. We will come out still with more stone sword keys than we started with in this episode, so do not fret. Alright, so you can see the silhouettes of a bunch of sorcerers in there. We're basically just gonna kind of take this room nice and slow and use all the giant crystals to break their line of sight so you can take them on one at a time. Some of them you'll be able to sneak up on and backstab. For some reason backstabbing makes noise though. There's one behind me still, at least. It's alright. Oh, you didn't die. I was too tempted by the big triple unsheathed shot there. Just had to do it. Grab all this cave moss, why not? And then the back left corner of the cave. Poor guy in a cage. Get our stone sword key back. Grab some fireflies and then sneak into this cave. Now sneak. Okay, so that's just normal sorcerer. That guy is kind of a problem. Not too much, but he is big. Come over here and hit the least obvious illusory wall in the entire franchise. Sound like I was saying that sarcastically, but like actually, how, you know? Grab the crystal staff, and then sometimes, yeah, often even, I would say, they will follow you in here. Usually both, I feel like, but got away with just one today. But yeah, these guys with like the pointy hats or hoods that are big like this, obviously, they're like half strength build, half sorcerer, so I half respect them. And they use this gavel. I'm trying to remember what it's called while I become an unwilling test subject for it. It's like Haima's gavel, maybe? Anyways, rune arc in the chests. There was another guy around here, was there not? There you are. Alright, and then this boss is going to be a duo Crystallin, same as the Crystallin we fought earlier in the game. This time one has a spear and the other has a staff, and if you summon, it shouldn't be a problem at all, because you can just have your summons distract one of them, but it's the same deal. We're just looking for a poise break. They're not really going to stagger at all until you get that, but unless they do one of their attacks like that, they're pretty slow. This guy will spam this attack, like, till the end of time sometimes, so that's a little annoying, but... there we go. Get the crit, and his armor is now broken, so we can just lay into him, and he has no poise left. Around his stamina. And then it's a 1v1. Don't do that. You can also backstab them. Okay. I felt a little disrespectful. He did it again. Unreal. How does it feel? How does it feel to get bonked? It's not fun, is it? Alright. Moving on. Do not return to entrance. I saw a glowing light and got excited, but do not return to entrance. Go up the elevator. That guy got under my skin a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Apologize for my lack of professionalism, but you should know by now that this is not the channel to find professionalism on. All the way to the top. Get the Terra Magica spell, which is pretty cool. It's like a rune you like throw on the ground basically, and if you stand in it, it buffs your magic. But with that, let's warp to... Actually, no. Okay, a couple episodes ago, I did this camp over here a little bit early, just because I wanted a smithing stone from it. If you didn't do it, now is the time I marked in the guide to go clear it, so you could warp to foot of the 4 belfries, follow the path north, and the enemy camp is right in here. So, go ahead and clear that out if you hadn't. Otherwise, warp to Road to the Manor, since I have already done that. And then we're going to turn around. I'm going to reactivate my rune arc also. Or my great rune, I should say, with a rune arc. We don't have, like, one rune arc in our entire possession like we used to, so I don't feel as bad about wasting it. There's an illusory floor here. If you can't find it, target shackle. Actually, there was, like, a corpse with something on it over here, I feel like, that I just forgot about. Maybe? Did I already pick it up? You just scope this out for 2 seconds. There it is. It's glintstone fireflies, so not really a big deal if I did miss it, but I didn't. Oh, forgot to mention, at that last grace, my bad, should have said this ahead of time. Equip heal, throw on the Faith Knot Crystal Tier in your Wonders Physic if you do need a Faith boost. One thing I did not point out before, being followed. Okay, got my eye on you. One thing I did not point out before is that the 5 extra levels you get from using or activating Godric's Great Rune with a Rune Arc when you have Godric's Great Rune equipped, that is, like I do, unless you started as the Prisoner, every other starting class, I do believe, has enough faith that that +5 bump to your faith level from activating this Great Rune will give you the 12 faith you need to use these just cheese spells, essentially, that we're using, the heal and poison mist. So you don't even have to use the Faith Knot Crystal Tier in your Wonders Physic if you have that Great Rune equipped, because that should get you past the 12 faith threshold. But we want heal, because fighting another one of these bastards. No, it's over. I'm dead. I surrender. Lucked out. Managed to kill it. It is smarter to just go for 2 back-to-back heals, honestly. It's so tempting to get that crit right in its stupid face, because they're terrible and we hate them. But it is safer to just do 2 back-to-back heals since you get that percentage-based damage. But you get the Frozen Needle. It's a fun weapon. Recommend trying that out if you haven't. And then we can warp to Royal Moon-Gazing Grounds. Can't mount Torrent just yet. Now we can. Nah. Half tempted to just fight the dragon over there right now. But I'm sure later in the guide I have a time to come back for it. I just like fighting dragons, genuinely. Like, that's the only reason why I would want to do that right now, because if you recall, that one flies away at 50% health, so you don't even get the satisfaction of beating it or any real rewards, so. But grab that Teardrop Scarab for the Frozen Armament incantation, and just keep on running through all the enemies until you get to this grace. Gonna rest and reset them, and I should probably level up. It is dexterity time. At long last. Alright, there's a bunch of like random plants and stuff to grab here. If I miss a random low-level Grave Glovewort or something, I apologize. The Thaw Frost boluses, those will alleviate your frostbite buildup. And then let's do the Evergoal first. Right over this way. It's gonna be an Onyx Lord, which maybe we haven't fought one of these before. It's basically the same as the Alabaster Lords. He's got like 3 moves basically. They're all pretty easy to differentiate. But he'll stab his sword. I can just start the fight while I'm talking. He'll stab his sword in the grounds, do a little small AoE, and he summons some homing meteors, which you can pretty much just strafe to avoid. He's got this lightning orb thing. Simply roll through it, It is simple if you're not looking at another monitor when he does it. And then just kind of standard slashing curved sword combos. That's really all there is to it. I take it back, it's hard. Alright. He does not have a lot of poise though, so when you see him going for that slam, you can usually interrupt him, but let him do it. As you see, just run to the side, and those are not getting anywhere near me. Skill issue. He's gonna give us the meteorite sorcery. Okay, and then do I want to deal with this? So the red one over there, it's Radagon's. It's just, the enemy type is called Red Wolf of Radagon. There are several of them in the game. They're kind of hard to kill, I'm not gonna lie. That is, like, it's not gonna start a proper, like, instant boss fight with the health bar on the bottom of the screen for this one, but it is basically a boss fight you're signing up for when you walk over there. The good news is, he will kind of sniff you out from very far away and run over to you, so you don't have to deal with all the wolves when you fight him. So, that's the good news. Now, he is guarding a Golden Rune 3, not very valuable, and there's like 5, probably have it written down here, I don't know, like 5 Mikola's lilies that you can pick around the perimeter of where all those wolves are sitting. I don't know that that's really worth dealing with personally, so I usually don't, but maybe I will throw hands with this wolf just so you can see it, because it will be a boss fight here in the next episode. Usually you will have seen me by now. Is this one just dumb? Oh, now he senses something. There we go. So yeah, can get his attention without alerting the other wolves. And once he's like that, if you just stand still, he should sort of like start making his way towards you. Yeah, there we go. And you can summon too if you want. But let's just go ahead and embarrass myself here. He's very fast, covers a lot of distance. Those bites. Loves to backstep, and then he has these, it's basically just the glintstone phalanx that we've seen a million times before, but unlike most enemies that have it, doesn't just float right above his head, and he can easily dash over to you and like fight with melee while those are homing in on you, so a little dangerous. Oh no. If I didn't have that Grey Rune on, I would be dead. I don't think they can actually use that attack. I think I just got unlucky and he learned a new move just for me. I cannot say that I am familiar with that move in particular. Alright, maybe he does just know how to do that. I'm scared, I don't want to... Fuck you. It's all under control the whole time. Alright. Anyway. We'll go back and get the rewards from that he was guarding in a second. First, a little genocide just to get my spirits up. Make me feel powerful again. Get the Albinaric Ashes, and then we actually have a painting guy right here. What are painting guy? Artists, that's what they're called. Get the Juvenile Scholar set and the Larval tier, and just because I think it's cool. This was this painting. You can see the giant gate there on the left, Rite Academy in the middle, and the Erd Tree on the right. Beautiful. Also, just popped in my head for any sticklers that may be watching. It's technically called a lesser Red Wolf of Radagon. There's the Golden Rune 3 as promised. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and I picked the 5th one up earlier. Now, if we run over this way, kind of towards where the painting subject was, there should be some tombstones, possibly, over here. And we got another one of these invisible teardrop scarabs to deal with. Make sure you grab these tarnished golden sunflowers, we will be needing those later. Sure you have plenty already, but always grab them when you see them. Oh, I'm him. That one's massive, so it doesn't really count. You get the Ash of War Hoarfrost Stomp. One of the most broken abilities ever put into a video game, if I'm being honest. It's been nerfed. Long since been nerfed, but that thing, when the game first came out, oh my god. Now, let's go... Let's actually go from the Grand Lift of Dectus side, I think. This would make more sense. Drop down here for the Teardrop Scarab. Somber Smithy Stone 3, and then we're gonna run up to this camp that we ran past in a previous episode. But if we come from this side, all the trebuchets are facing away from us, so it is significantly easier to approach. There is an item on one of these fences on the right side. I know I grabbed it in that episode, but it's there if you want it. It's nothing terribly important. I think this is a... yeah, this is just a cerulean flask one. Heard it ringing over here. There you are. This chest for the Great Mace. And then honestly, you don't really have to fight any of these guys. Probably gonna try to just avoid this Mounted Knight if possible. Or we're dropping down over here anyway, so you probably won't follow me regardless. But if you drop down off this cliff, get another rune arc. And with that, warp to either Bellum Church or the ravine, it doesn't really matter. Then you're gonna run northeast. Bellum Church is directly above us, so this like sort of ramp up here off to our right is how you'd get down here if you warp there. Which is why I said it doesn't matter which way you go. Now, if you recall, when we met Raya a few episodes ago, she mentioned that there are a couple ways to get to Altus Plateau. That was through the Grand Lift of Dectus, but it doesn't work. But she just thinks it doesn't work because it needs a key, and we have both halves of the key, as I've mentioned a few times, because we sort of ran ahead and got the other half from Dragon Barrow earlier in the walkthrough. We were killing Elder Dragon Grail, so we can use that whenever we want, technically. But we're not going to go to Altus Plateau just yet, because there are lots and lots and lots of other things that we need to do first. Have that golden seed. But Raya also mentioned this sort of back route. So I feel like there's like a tornado that's about to just come down from the sky right now. I don't like these vibes at all. Somber, or regular Smithing Stone 5 there. But yeah, she mentioned there's a back way, and it was through this area that we were about to clear. Not like this. That thing despawns. Okay. I'm still killing all of you, but I was about to make a much more serious threat. It's gonna get their Club Penguin accounts banned. Alright. Grab that Grace. And then I would personally grab the Flame Cleanse Me incantation, because there is a decent chance you get poisoned in this area. And I usually like to leave the what are the green ones called? Neutralizing boluses for emergencies, because those are just like, you know, you can have no FP, not have any incantations with you, and just pop those in an emergency to clear poison. So if you know you're going to get poisoned ahead of time, and you can spare a memory slot, I think taking the Flame Cleanse Me incantation is always a good idea. Alright, so off to the right. Smithing Stone 4, and then I'm gonna craft... wait, did I write it down? It'd be crazy if I did. I'm gonna guess 5. I'm gonna guess 5 fire pots. It's probably too many, but I know for a fact that there are a few of these guys with the little embers coming out of their backpack there, which means one fire pot does the trick. Grab the other Smithing Stone 4 there. Alright, and I'm gonna sneak into here, and you're gonna notice... Maybe not yet, but there's an enemy right there, and right there. And they're gonna pop out and try to ambush you. But if you get to them first, I'm pretty sure you can take them out one at a time. So these little things here on the ground, I don't know. I think these would be considered caltrops, maybe. I don't know. That seems like the right name. I don't know if it depends on the shape of the object. It doesn't matter. But these little spiky balls here, if you step on them, they're going to release poison, and you're going to have a bad time. So we're going to carefully navigate around them. And these guys are basically just waiting for you to activate those, so that's why they just let you get super close, I'm guessing. And there's a ton right here also. You can probably see them better with a lantern on. But that is why... See, those are nasty. Just one, and I ran away from it immediately and still almost got me. That's why I bring that incantation. So this elevator, you can roll off on the way up, jump off, whatever, right here. The safer way to do it is to just ride it all the way up, because then you can see as you're coming down, like from a mile away, where you need to jump off, rather than just being kind of surprised by it. But get that smithing stone 5 there, drop down a couple times, and bring the elevator back down. Got 2 of those now, so we can reinforce our weapon again next time we go back to Round Table Hold. You're not gonna explode. You will. And wait for him to get a little closer. 2 for 1? Almost. You will explode. Can't remember if you can hit this guy through the wall. You certainly can. Bunch more of these traps here, be careful. Couple lightning grease. Grab those smithing stones off the wall, and then we're just gonna play around the world here and clear them out from right to left. First you. And then you. Oh, I missed one. He was supposed to be 3rd. And we paid dearly for it. These guys are actually like really cool. I just wrote angry little gnomes in my notes every time I was referring to one of them. Believe it or not, that's not what they're actually called. But I remember watching a video that, like, I think it was saying that there was like evidence somewhere that the original plan for them was supposed to be for them to be like normal sized. But then they just like decided to make them small for some reason. I might be wrong about that, but you can get their armor to drop, which I feel like makes that theory hold a little bit more weight. We are getting closer to the top, though. Alright, try to like quickly backstab this guy before a bat knocks you off the ledge. So disrespectful, that animation. I love it, though. Oh, speak of the devil. Got 2 pieces of his armor. That's crazy. That is extremely lucky, and to have happened right after I said that they could drop. Alright. Are you coming down this way? You're stuck. Climb up these rocks here. Little platforming fun. Somber Smithing Stone 3. Then you can go down this ladder here. That's 5. I think I counted right. No more, no less. And another Somber Smithing Stone. Whoops. Forgot one. Now we can climb. Golden Rune 5, Smithing Stone 4. Before you upset that one up there that's singing, I would try to lower these guys down. Might have to shoot him with a bow. So these are all just normal bats, but the glowing singing one is a bit of a problem. If I would just like upgrade my bow, that would just kill them outright. That's the funny thing. I haven't upgraded it once and it does a massive chunk of their health. Partially because it counts as a surprise attack, I think. If you sneak up on an enemy and hit them before they know you're there, they will take more damage. And I think when the bats are like sleeping like that, it counts. I don't know why it wouldn't. So would that do 118 damage? If I hit him now, he sees me. Okay, I missed and I'm out of that arrow type, so... Science experiment is not happening anymore. I've been spotted. Oh no. Get away from that poison. That's crazy. Just dodging me. Golden Rune 6, and I can't remember if there's anything over here. Does not seem like it. Which means we can climb the ladder. Hop across here, wrap around the right side. Golden Rune 5. How did you even get up here? How did you get up here? How did that miss? So many questions right now. Wrap around here. Grab Smithing Stone 4. And then before we deal with the singing again, we're going to go over here to the right. Climb up another ladder. I love how massive this place is on like a vertical scale. Like we started literally all the way down at the bottom of that waterfall. We're up so high. once they're all dead. Grab the Serpent God's curved sword. It's kind of a fun one. Underrated weapon, I would say. I don't PvP in this game at all. So there's like a chance, I realize, after saying underrated weapon, that like not knowing at all what the current state of the meta is and all that, that could just be like the most hated weapon in the game and I would have no idea. Someone might have just heard me say that it's underrated and been like, what are you talking about? But for PvP, or no, PvE I mean, I would call it underrated. That one back there is like casting spells. A problem. And poisons. Do not let that grab you. I need you to stop. Just keep doing it. It just has like a bunch of little mini versions of all the most horrific attacks in the game. Flame cleanse me to cancel out the poison, easy as that. Grab a rune arc. Smithing stone 3. And then before we head up the elevator, make sure to drop down here. Carefully get the lost ashes of war. And up the elevator we go. So up ahead, it's going to be this Grace and the boss fight. So the boss has 3 possible summons. Blackguard, Big Bogart, forever will be hard to say. If you've met and befriended him back at Boil Prawn Shack. I put in my notes originally that you had to have like befriended him by buying prawns from him, but I don't know if they changed that or if I was just wrong, but he is here if you've met him at all, basically. Millicent, who we have not yet met in this walkthrough, but you'll also need to progress her quest a bit, so she's just not going to be here, basically. And then Great Horned Tragoth, who will help no matter what. He's just here. And if you do summon this guy, you also get the casual greeting gesture. Even if you do just summon him and immediately send him home, you'll still get it. Now, this guy will also be available to summon for a boss fight later. And that's a boss fight that, like, I mean, you don't have to use summons, but it's sort of like a part of the fight, if that makes any sense, without like spoiling anything. So we're definitely going to summon NPCs for that fight, and so we'll get the casual greeting gesture then. So I'm not going to grab it here. If you're at all worried about somehow missing that gesture, then just take him into the fight, or just summon him and then send him home immediately if you don't want to summon for whatever reason. I forgot to rest. Now, why there are 3 summons for this boss, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, he is a little beefy, I will admit, but I feel like that's still a little overkill, and he's going to get a ton of extra health if you get those, Actually, no, I should specify or clarify. You can only take 2. You cannot have all 3 of them. So, there's actually no disadvantage to not having access to Millicent right now anyway. But even just with 2 summons, this boss is going to have a ton of health. But you can't always summon your Spirit Ashes without giving it extra health, so... However much or however little help you on this fight. You can have it. But this is Magma Wyrm Makar. 2-phase fight. First phase is identical essentially to the other Magma Wyrm that we fought back in, it was a Gale Tunnel, I believe. So, I mean, we're just gonna keep an eye on him, don't stand in the fire, and try to spam some heavy attacks to his face to get a stagger if possible. That was very early, so I'm gonna wager multiple staggers. But around half health, 60% usually is honestly closer to when most enemies or most bosses go in their second phase. He's gonna stand up and he's gonna be working with some moves that we have definitely not seen before. He's got this charge 3 times nonsense. Up to 3 times. Just kind of run around and kill time while the fire goes away. And up he goes. So this is phase 2. He breathes fire on his sword. Now, he has, if I get far away, he has like just massive attacks. That's it's not wanting to use right now for some reason. Here we go. Yeah, he's just like sliding all over the place, spinning. He's got that giant sword. So, I mean, he's like in full-blown dragon mode right now. So, I basically like to not lock on for this phase of the fight because you can lock onto his head and that's gonna like really disorient you because his head is all the way up there. So now I'm like staring at the ceiling, I'm clipping through his body with the camera. It gets weird. So I kind of just stay unlocked and hang out down by his tail, behind him as much as possible. Obviously you're not doing as much damage as if you hit him in the head, but can't really hit him in the head right now. Now that big delayed slam that he just did there, that's like the main thing you have to worry about when you're back here behind him. Most of his other attacks are just not much of a factor, but it's also kind of hard to like see when he's doing it if you're not able to look up at him at all, which is why I don't like to be locked on to like down here, because that sword keeps coming from like outside of my field of view. But it's got this big shockwave and it's kind of still just a pain to dodge, so gotta learn the timing. But he doesn't like... It's not like a mix-up attack. The timing is annoying but consistent. See, stand back here. Don't have to worry about the fire at all. Oh, got a bleed proc, nice. So yeah, do that in the second phase, unless you have like some sorceries or incantations to be able to like throw at his face even while he's standing up, in which case obviously you'd want to do that. But for melee, stay behind him and just try to learn the timing on that big slam, because the sword probably won't hit you if you're positioned correctly behind him, but the shockwave will. If you're confident that the sword isn't going to hit you, remember to dodge shockwave attacks. You can also jump. You have a ton of iframes on the jump from the waist down only, but as you saw, it does have a lot of tracking. Like, he can kind of just turn on a dime and hit you if he really wants to, so that's why I was mostly trying to roll through it, but that's that. So once he's dead, you get a dragon heart and the sword that I forgot to read the name of. Magma Wyrm Scale Sword. This thing's really cool. It looks cool. It's cool to use. It's fun. It's great. I like it. But once he's dead, up ahead this way is an elevator that's going to take us up to Altus Plateau, because like I said, this is of course that other route that we could take to get here aside from the Grand Lift of Dectus. So we don't want to go there, so just activate this grace so you can come back to it later if you need to, and we're going to warp to Gate Town Bridge, way back here. I don't know what I was cooking when I wrote this section of the walkthrough. Part of me thinks that maybe I just meant to do this before Ruin-Strewn Precipice, that we just cleared and like somehow rearranged it. But we're doing it now. Some strips of white flesh. And then over here to the right, just like a very tiny enemy camp. Silver pickled foulfoots. Then you can cross over again to the left. Pop this balloon. Okay, Golden Rune 6. Those guys will get back up and be upset, but that's fine. We're just gonna leave. And then here, there's some flowers. Hop this gap for a Golden Rune 3. And then we're gonna run north to like a sunken chapel thing. There's barely anything left of it, but why do they sound so heavy? Grab Golden Rune 4 there. And then we're gonna run west into town. Just kind of keep running until the buildings start to like just like slowly get taller and taller the further you get in. On a rooftop around here somewhere, there's going to be, it looks like it's this one over here. Just crawling with these enemies. Trying to get frozen. And then you can hop up into here to open the chest. The Glintstone Craftsman's Cookbook 4. And then I feel like I missed a random corpse around here. Yes. Arteria leaf. I could not see that guy for some reason. Drop down here. Crystal buds. And then from here we're gonna run like straight north all the way to the edge of town. I guess a little northeast maybe was more accurate. Kill this Teardrop Scarab. Somber Smithing Stone 2. And then from here we can run southwest. There's clearing up ahead. There's going to be a tree with a golden seed if you missed it quite a while back by this point. But there's the tree if you need it. And then in here somewhere, just fit through these buildings, it's going to be this giant crab. Should be able to see. He's like a very long and slow patrol, and also I forgot that they smell fear, so he saw me. If you're lucky with the timing, you can definitely sneak through here without him noticing you. Gonna try it again. But I'm still afraid, so he saw me. Alright. Grab the Smithing Stone 2s. And I just really don't want to deal with him right now, so... You do need a bow for this part, I think. I can never get the lock on this Teardrop Scarab up here, so... Just free aim a shot right up there. Get the charged 4th Ash of War, and that's pretty much all we need here, so... It's kind of a sticky situation. Approach that how you want. Whatever makes the most sense for you. I was kind of feeling the run through and maximize chaos today. I'll lure these guys away from that flamethrower. And then here to the left. Some arrows. One more soldier right here. As soon as he's dead, you can hop up over to the right and run all the way to this back corner. Some glintstone fireflies keep wrapping around. Hey guys, quick note I wanted to throw in here. So up this ramp bridge thing to the right of me right now, where I just paused the video, is actually a site of grace and a map that points to where you can get the Academy glintstone key that is guarded by the dragon we killed a couple episodes ago. I don't pick it up just because it's honestly something that I just usually skip over by this point in the game. The map shows you where an item is that I just have memorized by this point. And the grace, I don't really find necessary just because I pretty much just run through this area here, grab a couple items, and get out. So I've never really had a use for it. But as far as, you know, making a walkthrough, it probably would have been a good idea to include that. So poor design on my part, my bad, but I just wanted to let you guys know. And I'll explain a little bit more about all that stuff right at the beginning of the next episode. So stay tuned for that. And grab a shield. Alright, so now you can backtrack to the road that we just crossed. Right at the foot of this bridge. There's a bear down there. So if you approach from this side, then you can kind of sneak up on all these enemies, which is ideal because that big flaming thing ahead of us, you don't really ever want to be in front of those if you can help it. So you can backstab them though. Usually these guys hop off the flamethrowers, but yeah, just prioritize him dying, because these are just little dudes with short swords. It's not really a huge threat. And then you can clear out the rest of the enemies if you want to. You don't really have to kill that guy if you're not feeling it. It's just a smithing stone 3 right there, which you could easily grab on your way through here. But whether you choose to kill everything or not, mount up Torrent. And this is a finger reader. I don't know if I've talked about these yet. They basically just feed you prophecies based on whatever point in the game you're at and wherever you encounter them in the world, but it's not necessary dialogue, just like random world building stuff. No quest lines. But yeah, we're just gonna run north, straight out of town. Now, if it's nighttime, don't do this, because between you and the last island is going to be a night boss. So you can either go back to Academy Gate Town, set the time to night, or day rather, and then run up here through the lake, or you could go southeast from here. Those would be your two best bets. Over here though, in this tower, make a double jump with torrents. Get another stone sword key. I guess if you just steered, like went wide around here, you'd be fine, but right around where I'm standing, where these ruins are is where a death bird will spawn at night, so just be wary of that. Because we do not like fighting death birds. But, unfortunately, this is the part of the guide where we do the Liurnia night bosses. So, set the time to night and let's fight a death bird. I'm going to... Wait. Oh, wait, no. This is not a death bird. This is a death Rite bird. It sounds similar, totally different animal though. So make the biggest stack of holy water pots you can. If you have an extra pot of something, throw it away. And make more holy water pots. Why can't I? Oh. That was a ritual pot. I just wasted that. Alright, well. That's a tragedy, honestly. That's very upsetting. So, equip those. Now, death Rite birds are like death birds, but far worse. They have all the normal, just swing at you, step on you, fly at you, try to peck your eyes out nonsense that the normal death birds do, but they also have several things called ghost flame attacks. Now, in my completely unbiased opinion, as someone who goes by the name Ghost, ghost flames are cooler than any other variety of flame. I'm sorry, but the ghost flame attacks are kind of intense. The good news is the bird gets completely melted by holy damage, namely holy pots that we crafted. And we do want to aim for its head like normal, but the ghost flame attacks are going to be a problem. So it's got a few. I'm going to talk about all of them before we go in, because it's a very, like, you're just spamming the roll button the whole time kind of boss fight. So, first of all, it'll make a fireball with its staff, and it's going to do one of two things after it does that. Depending on how far you are away from it. If you're really far away, it'll swing its staff horizontally and send a trail of fire out towards you that's going to persist on the ground to make areas that you can't stand in. And the fire also builds up the frostbite status effects, so you really don't want that to you don't want to be standing on it. And if you're close to the bird, it'll do a vertical slam instead, which causes an explosion. For the fire trail, you can just avoid it by running or rolling to the side, just perpendicular to the path of the trail. But the explosion you'll have to roll through because you're going to be up close to it, obviously. Another attack involves flying away and raining down a ton of spears at you, which you can see some of the places where it's going to drop the spears by a glow on the ground, so definitely do not stand where the ground is glowing. And then it has a big explosion attack where it holds its staff up in the air, and it charges it, and then it slams it down to make a very large explosion that also leaves fire on the ground. And it does that in like a star shape. That's the path of the explosion is just an explosion, but the path of the fire it leaves on the ground is in a star shape. So there will be like lanes where there's fire and lanes where it's safe to stand, basically. And then finally, it can cast a spell called Ancient Death Rancor, which is the spell it drops after we kill it. And that, we actually kind of saw a mini version from the singing bat thing that we fought right before we went up the final elevator towards the Magma Wyrm boss. Just a bunch of like homing, flaming skulls, basically, that will fly at you. Depending on how lucky or unlucky you are, you might have to combine running sideways and rolling to completely avoid all of them, because sometimes they get like really staggered. And I don't know, but those are the attacks you need to look out for. I'm gonna try to explain them again with context here, but just in case I didn't get a chance to show them off in this fight. So there's the trail of fire because we're far away. You see it marked by that horizontal sweep of the staff. Try to land those headshots for huge damage. there's Rancor Call. So, mostly avoided by just running this side. So those explosions that you want to watch out for. It swings so fast. It might not do the big explosion attacks until phase 2. Can't really remember, so let's hit it a couple more times. I just got cornered bad. I would like to see some more variety, sir. I might just wrap this up, because there will be more of this enemy in the game. And honestly, if you never see those attacks, like, you're better for it, right? This is an ideal outcome. Alright, here's the big explosion. You see these, like, star-shaped trails of fire. What was the last thing I said he would do? The spears? What am I stuck on? Driftwood. Insane. Maybe it's like a super long-range thing. It shouldn't be, because if I remember it, the spears are like more densely packed the closer you are to the bird. But we'll run around for like 30 more seconds and hope he does it. Not looking promising. Oh, that was it. So yeah, definitely understand where the white circle is, but obviously they can go outside the circle too, but they're a lot less densely packed further away from the impact zone. Did it just despawn? Or died somehow? Alright, I don't know. I'd have to watch the tape back on that one. Get stung by a bee? Okay, well. I'm glad that didn't happen, like, when it was... the fight just started, because that would have been... would have felt bad. Not being able to, like, display any of the tactics or anything, but... that's that. Deathrite bird number 1 of too many down. Now... where do we want to go next? Let's go to... Oil Prawn Shack. There's a regular deathbird over here, which is going to feel much less difficult in comparison. Got 3 of these left, so let's just make a couple more. So from Oil Prawn Shack, in southeast, there's going to be some ruins up here immediately on the left, and as soon as you get close, should spawn in the deathbird. It literally just now in this moment occurred to me for the first time in my life that you can throw these from horseback. Is this the strat? I missed one. The strategy sucks. Much less of a problem than regular ones. That's the funny thing about this game though. You fight the first deathbird and you're like, this is the worst thing ever, I hate this. And then they make a much worse one later and you're like, no, this is the worst thing ever. I hate this even more. And then you go back and you kind of appreciate the old one. It's like a toxic relationship. You get the red feathered branch sword. That's like the red tearstone ring from Dark Souls. Raises attack power when HP is low. Of course, complements the blue one, raise defense when HP is low. So, you know, not super awesome for players like myself that never get hit, but maybe for you, who knows. And then we'll warp to Gate Town Bridge. It's going to be a Knight's Cavalry here, and I hate fighting him here because there's a bunch of trees and there's like these little I just said whittle, my career is over. Sometimes Torrent gets stuck, maybe it's just this one mostly. It's like just high enough that sometimes you can't walk over it, but get his attention and then I like to lead him out to this field. Stay down. Alright. So you're just knocking him down. You start with the Deathrite Bird and it's just everything else is just not as bad in comparison. You get the Ash of War Ice Spear from that one. Next we're going to go all the way up to Bellum Church. Did I not write? Hold on. Oh. I was supposed to start with this one. I was like going through my notes and did not see the Bellum Church guy. Also, Hyatt is here.
There, please. Without one.
Give her a fingerprint grape.
A fingerprint. Thank you. May the bless. I'm sure I'll be a...
Can do that whenever. Sure, I wrote to do that at a later point in the guide, but who cares? But yeah, I wrote to kill this one in the first line of the Night Bosses section. And then skipped over it. So there's a guy on horseback over there. If you're worried about the fight deviating from this path here and getting that guy involved, you can kill him just to be safe before you start. Otherwise, I definitely do like killing these guys before I start. Ow. Okay. What I meant to say is I like getting killed by these guys before I start. You're the problem here. Anyways. Oh, I didn't get the backstab. How embarrassing. Doing a lot of spinning today. That's what it looks like when he summons the horseback. I haven't seen that before, because usually I don't fumble the backstab that much. Today was not one of those days. Get the Ash of War Giant Hunt. It's really funny to me, because it's just clearly designed to stab giants in the balls, but... And the Knight Rider Glaive. That's 2 balls jokes in one video. I'm on an absolute roll right now. Both about giants too. Don't read into that. Let's go to Church of Vows. And this will be the last night boss, so usually it takes a couple times resting to get it to spawn. You can see right through this crack in the pillars, the turtle. So just, you don't have to run all the way in there by any means, but if you rest and get up, you still see the turtle through the crack in the pillars. Rest again. Check. He's still there. It might be turning daytime, actually. So past the time of nightfall, and then also the other thing you can do while you're sitting here, these guys, since they take a second to spawn in and then start attacking you, you can kind of get like a free poison mist off if you want. So, and these guys are absolute tanks. So the poison definitely doesn't hurt. Still there. Just gonna walk in till it says Church of Vows, run back out and rest again. This one's always a problem, I feel like, getting him to spawn. Damn. Like questioning my sanity. Did I set it to night? Oh, there's stars in the sky. It's definitely nighttime. Maybe... Hold on, I have another theory. Maybe I didn't exhaust this guy's dialogue. He doesn't move. But... yeah, I probably didn't sit through this, because there's no questline associated with it. He's not going to go anywhere or do anything new after you get this dialogue. But... maybe, just maybe, this will help the enemy spawn in. Now he's gone. I think that did the trick. Alright, let's get this poison mist ready. Drop it right on top of him, and then try to get in position for that shield bash. Oop. Stand right behind him. There we go. Roll through. Swing once or twice. Rinse and repeat. I was gonna make a repeat until, like, I don't know why I was about to say golden brown. But then I was like, that wouldn't make any sense. What if I said golden ruin instead? And I was like, I still feel like this joke is too much of a stretch. No way. I definitely got clipped by the first one, but that was bullshit. There we go. Got him right where we want him. Let's switch to one-handed attacks actually, because I feel like they're slightly faster. Might be imagining that, but I feel like I can much more comfortably get 2 swings off. 3 is a little ambitious. The problem with 3 is I have time, but then I don't have time to make that like micro adjustment where I get closer to him to make sure he stays in that shield bash loop. And down he goes. So, get the meat peddler's bell bearing, and that's pretty much it for this episode. Next time we're gonna go do the academy. But other than the main dungeon, Liurnia is all but complete at this point. Gonna run around and just do a couple random things here. Give prayer books to this guy. I'm probably not gonna like consistently remind you to bring prayer books and sorcery scrolls to this NPC. Did my controller just die? It did. Alright, well this episode is over. I was just gonna go bring the bell bearing back. Oh, it's back. It's back. We're back. Okay. But yeah, I probably won't remind you, but if I just think about it on my character and I want something from one of these prayer books, then I might just come back and obviously you'll be reminded that way. But if you want spells and incantations, just bring the stuff back when you have it. Then back to round table hold. Get a weapon upgrade level here too. Got a few bell bearings to give. Same thing here. I usually don't have anything that I'm like dying to have from these bell bearings, so just kind of bring them back at my convenience, but make sure to check in with her from time to time. Level up a few times. And finally to Hugh. Plus 13. Alright, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Hopefully that was useful in some capacity, and I will see you in the next one for the Academy of Raya Lucaria. Have a good one.